Oh, name's Phantom. Ha! Ha! Reading's hard. Feck. Okay, so let us see what we've got here. So we've got Balloon, we've got Hog, we've got Musketeer, we got a level 1 Tesla. Then we got arrows, minions, spear gobs, and archers. Okay, so got a few critiques for this one. So the first thing I would say is Tesla's got to go, right? Level 1 commons, can't have them. When it gets higher level, maybe we could talk about it, but can't be there. So when we look at replacing Tesla, what card, what purpose is Tesla serving, right? It's serving a defensive purpose. So we need to replace it with a defensive card. My personal opinion is to go Fireball. So I really love Fireball because it's both offensive and defense, right? You can use it defensively to stop their push. You can also use it offensively when you have a Hog going in and they play Barbs. Or you have, minions going in and they have archers or different things. Fireball can be used to take care of all of that. So the first swap I would do is I would take out Tesla and I would put in Fireball. So then we got to look at what else we have here. So archers and spear goblins are basically serving the same purpose, right? So you got to choose. I personally am liking archers over spear goblins right now. They're a little bit more durable and they do a little bit more damage, even though there's only 2. So personally, I would pull spear goblins out and use the archers. If you really like archer, or if you really like spears and don't really like archers, then you can go with the other one, right? It's totally personal preference, but only run one of them. The other one's got to go. Okay, so then we got to talk about your balloon. So how is your balloon getting through, right? So is your balloon always being played right behind a Hog Rider? And if so, Hog Rider's not very tanky, right? So Hog Rider goes in, they kill the Hog Rider, and now your balloon's just getting like lit up, right? So you kind of need something to protect here. So I honestly would look at maybe putting a Giant in your deck. Giant with a balloon right after it is really strong. Giant will also help protect. You're already running Musketeer and you're running minions, so Giant can push on its own when they're countering Hog. Your Hog's also only level 2, so it can be a little tough, right? That Hog is under-leveled probably compared to a lot of your opponents. So depending on what cards you have, you may want to pull the Hog out until you get to like level 4 Hog. You could keep it for now, just know that he's going to underperform. So I would maybe swap out the spears, either the spears or the archers. I personally would do spears. Swap one of those for a Giant. And then you're going to swap Tesla for Fireball. And this deck gets way stronger, right? Like crazy stronger. If you have it, just because your Hog is only level 2, I would look at playing a Prince instead of a Hog. If you happen to have like a level 4 Mini P.E.K.K.A., I would play a level 4 Mini P.E.K.K.A. instead of a Hog. Just a few different things because your Hog is under-leveled right now. I love Hog Rider, but at level 2 compared to like if you have a level 4 Mini P.E.K.K.A., level 2 versus level 4, you got to play him. Clash Royale King 24, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. We're doing a little bit of deck critique at the moment. And it looks like you could tell, and we'll check it out. By the way, Alloyings, yeah, as soon as I'm done, I will check that out as well. Yeah, so that's probably the critiques I would give. Those are the 2 major changes I would make. The rest of the deck seems fine. You just need to be able to get the balloon through. And you want like a good defense, right? And I think that Fireball coming in, if you're not going to run Barbs, you could also put Barbs in this deck. I think your defense against Hogs got to be a little hard. Aljazz22, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. I'm not sure if you're losing to Hog decks or Prince decks. Right now, you don't have much of a defense against it. As you can see, we like to run Tombstone. Does my thing below? That's not the balloon one. We used to have. We like to run Tombstone quite a bit, so there's some different things. But at the very least, you need to protect your balloon, and you need to get rid of the level 1 Tesla. And your archers and spears are kind of doing the same thing. Okay, another deck check here. Where's Dylan? Dylan, here we go. Okay, so Dylan has, let's see, so we're in Arena 4. So we have Spear Gobs. We have, is this Minion Horde? That is Minion Horde. Barbs, Fireball, Freeze. Okay, so we're a Hog Freeze deck. So the one thing I would suggest, your current deck is to the right. Oh, it totally is. So the one suggestion I would make here is instead of Minion Horde, I would play actual minions, the 3 cost. Reason being is elixir advantage is important. Almost everybody is running arrows, right? So if they arrows your Minion Horde, then you kind of get hosed there, right? So you pay 5, they get 3. So they get a 2 elixir advantage on you, you kind of get burned. So I would replace this with just the regular minions. They accomplish the same thing. They only cost 3, which means you can play them quicker. You can also run in minions, regular minions behind the Hog Rider. So Hog Rider starts to go in, regular minions come behind. If they arrow you, not a big deal, right? Hey, Cap. So I would swap those out pretty quickly. I love Minion Horde, but unfortunately it just gets countered. You know, they deal a ton, but the Horde gets countered for a negative elixir trade. Even if they fireball it, it's +1 elixir, right? They fireball your Minion Horde as soon as you play it, and it's +1 elixir. So it just, the Horde is always an elixir disadvantage. So I would play regular minions here. For Bomb Tower, so Bomb Tower, since it got nerfed, pre-nerf, I would have said every deck ever has to have Bomb Tower. It was so stupid OP that it wasn't funny. Now that it finally got nerfed down to like 40 seconds and is a little weaker, I don't love it in this deck. I agree that you need some sort of defense, probably a cannon. You could also go Tombstone. It's kind of up to you. Cannon, if you're seeing tons and tons of Hog, you can go with Cannon. I like Tombstone as well, but Cannon is pretty solid. But something different, like I said, once it got nerfed, it got beat up pretty hard in the nerf. So I would think about pulling Bomb Tower out for something different. But the rest of the deck looks fine, right? Everything else looks great. I'd probably adjust that down to the regular minions, and then I'd think about changing out your defensive tower. But I like the rest. It looks like Yoey is chiming in with some similar responses there. Okay, so that's probably what I would do there. Could you check my dick? Is small and fleshy. Beth told me it was pretty girthy. Can you check out my deck? # something something. All right, do I just type that in? Does that work? Do I just type in # 8LU? 8LU 909. Oh, are you German YouTube? The one and only? There we go. 2117. All right, Clash Royale King 24. Oh yeah, got himself a legendary. Okay, so we're in Arena 7 here, so this will be a little bit different deck. So we are running. We're running Rage. So we're running a Golem, 3 Musketeer, Rage deck. Poison's fine. Although I would feel like maybe I guess if you're running into a lot of guys that are playing like goblins, skeletons, stuff like that, and you're playing Rage on Poison on their side of the river to protect your Golem, I don't hate it. I'll be totally honest. I tried really hard on my high level account to make Golem happen, and I just don't think Golem's there yet. He's not bad. I tried Golem around like 20s. I dumped from about 2,800 down to like 2,200 when I tried my Golem deck. I don't love Golem. I honestly like Giant better. So it's up to you. 3 Musketeers with Rage will literally obliterate anything. So I really like 3 Musketeers. I ran a 3 Musketeers deck until I opened a Sparky, and then, you know, I'm just living the dream with the Sparky. So I would think about taking the giant down to a or the golem down to a giant. It just depends. I found myself too elixir starved, having both of these guys in here, especially if they punish your elixir collectors. So I'd think about bringing this down to a giant. Maybe royal giant, but probably just regular giant. I don't know. I haven't played with royal giant much. And then the poison. I guess I would have to see how you're playing the poison. If you're using it like to protect the golem across when you're running into all these cycle decks that are dropping tons of little guys, like maybe it's okay. I guess it would depend on what you're running into. I personally would probably want Fireball here instead, but it's kind of up to you. As seen, I guess your Ice Wizard goblins are your primary defense. I would imagine, honestly, your win condition is really Rage 3 Musketeers, and I think your Golem is like win more, right? Like, these two together will win for you. Ideally, though, you want to get these to level 6 because you're getting one shot by fireballs now. So if you can get this to level 6, then 3 Musketeers really jumps forward a tier. At level 5, they can get one shot by fireballs. At level 6, they can't. So it's kind of up to you there. That's what I would be requesting drastically. But otherwise, I don't think it's terrible. I like the concept, especially Ice Wizard makes this deck a lot more viable because he's so good at both protecting your towers and protecting everything. But otherwise, I feel like Golem is a win more card, right? You'd be better suited with a card that's more multi-purpose, I think.